make from the time you have that vision. So there are things that will be necessary, there are things that will not be necessary to drive you or to move you towards your vision. So personal vision is a destination. It tells you which way to turn when things get rough, when things get tough. Truly, the workplace and the workplace landscape is full of unpredictables. And so when one of these unpredictable things happen, because you have a direction, because you have a destination, the flow does not take you away completely from your vision. It makes you just redirect effort to arrive at that vision. And vision is not a wish. Vision is not a wish. We had trained a couple of children from secondary school up to university, and one of them, a number of about 50 or so of them, and it's still ongoing. And one of them came out who had read agriculture, and there's a farm that she was supposed to work in. And talking to the head of that farm, she was asking, why does she have to? She wants to be Minister of Agric. Minister of Agric. That's what she wants to be. So, we had to explain to her that that is not the vision. That you're looking for a title. You're looking for a name. Minister of Agriculture is not a vision. So, what is your vision? A vision requires that you grind. A vision requires that you grind. For as many of us who are here who are listening to me, I would ask you to maybe close your eyes, even though I can't see you. Picture yourself in 5 years. 5 years from now, what do you see that your day will look like 5 years from today, having been part of this ERC program? Look at yourself 5 years from today. What do you see of yourself? How do you see yourself? What does your day look like 5 years from today? Today is 5th December 2025. 5th December 2030. What will you look like? 5th December 2030. Who will you be with? Who will be the people who are surrounding you, both at home, in the workplace, in the environment? Who are the kind of people who will be around with you? And another question you have to answer is, what impact will you be making 5 years from today? Now, these are things that will help you, move towards the direction of a meaningful vision for your life. Now, open your eyes and write a single sentence that captures that scene, the scene of who, the 5 years from today, who you are with, what your day will look like, what you are doing, and the impact you would have been making at that period. I hope I just give you 1 minute to write down that sentence that has come into your mind because of the scene, the picture you have seen in your mind. Yeah. Are we still together? Hello? Hello, are we still together?
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, I can't see anybody. I don't know what's happening to my screen, and I can't see anybody, so that's why I'm asking. And so your vision isn't a lofty dream like the young lady who wants to be fresh graduate wants to be a minister for Agric. It is a concrete sensory snapshot that fuels your daily choice. Your daily choices are fueled by that picture. There are things you tell yourself you can't do. You can't afford to sleep on your bed till 10 a.m. if you have a vision. You can't. You can't afford to collapse in the heat of challenges because your vision keeps you going. So keep uh, that vision statement of yours handy. It's going to be helpful to you as we go into the full workings of this project in the days ahead. Career planning. Career planning is your destination, your vision is your destination. And so the career planning is the journey to that destination. It is the journey to that destination. And if you don't have that roadmap, you may not be able to make that destination. It'll be difficult for you to make that destination because, like the department head or so of UI said, there's a lot of competition out there in the field. There's a lot of competition out there, lots of competition, lots of challenges. So that vision, that your plans help you to maneuver through all obstacles to get you to that point that you arrive at your destination. There will be a lot of frustration, wasted resources, etc., if you don't have a clear roadmap to where you're going. So, how does that start? It starts with having a vision. Number two, you have to know your strengths and weaknesses. Your strengths are basically those things that come to you very easily. Uh, your strengths are those things that you you are the go-to person. What do you need in this direction? Say, oh no, go there. If you want writing, you want a beautiful write-up, I'll tell you one person to go to. Isado, because he can craft messages for you which are just out of this world. He has great strength in that area. I don't know what your own strength is. Maybe take 2 seconds and put down together for yourself one of two things that you think are your strengths. And maybe when we're out of this program today, you ask one or two people around you, what do they think is your strength? So that you can build on that strength. And weaknesses are those areas where you have gaps. Those areas where you have gaps. I'm speaking even as having been a chief executive for many years, I still have challenges with understanding balance sheets and all those. So I need somebody to help me translate those matters and interpret them. And right now, I'm still not very good at manipulating this. She called it digital something. These digital age things. I'm not very good at it, so that's why maybe I'm having this problem with because all my assistants, all my aides are not available at this time to help me navigate this turbulence or this turbulence of the digital whatever. So those are weaknesses. So during the full sessions of this program, we'll be looking at steps that you can use to map your routes to success. They will include uh, goal setting, which is very important if you're going to arrive at your dream. And then there will be building networks because you will need people to work with you. You need people to walk along with you. You need their support. You need their strength. So you need those networks. And Finally, we're looking at effective communication. Because you're working with people who have varying degrees of understanding, you will need to be effective, to be an effective communicator. You need to be someone who is able to pass on information in a way that you can be heard and not ignored. You can pass on information and you are heard. You can pass on information and you are ignored. And so, learning the skills of communicating effectively is important if we must grow and succeed in the businesses, on the endeavors that we are going to be engaged in, because we need collaboration with others, and we can only collaborate effectively when people are able to get the information that we are passing on to them, our thoughts, our ideas, our feelings. Once they're able to get that, because communication basically is the process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, feelings, through speaking, through writing, and through body language. And as we go into the course fully, we'll understand that your body language can actually contradict what you are saying. So communication really it would involve for us a sender. It requires a sender. It requires a message. It requires a receiver. It requires a medium, channels through which you are passing this information, whether it is spoken words, whether it's text, whether it's signals. It requires an interpretation of this message by the person who is receiving it. And then you're getting a feedback. If your message is right, if the understanding of the receiver is okay, then you will get the required response, which means that your communication is effective. If you don't get the required response, shows that there is something missing, there's a gap in that ability to send information across. So, whatever communications we are sending across should be clear. There's need for clarity, that your own thoughts and language are clear and, and easy to understand. Your communication must be concise, direct to the point, avoid unnecessary words so that you can respect the time that the audience, whoever is your audience, has given to you. Wordy, verbose languages, the language is not the best for anybody, especially when you have to pitch your your ideas for help. Your language must be concrete. Use specific facts. When we started, Monica gave us facts about employment, wealth transfer in the next couple of years. How many trillions or trillions of dollars will be transferred? And so those are facts, those are concrete ideas that will help us as we work to make ourselves successful in the environment, knowing that we know that there is money to be gotten. We're not working in an economy where we come out with empty hands. So our information we're passing on must be concrete. Also, it must be correct. Make sure information that is given is accurate and truthful. Accurate and truthful. Accurate and truthful. Another virtue of our communication should be that it is complete. All the necessary information for the audience to understand the message and take needed action must be given. So effective communication is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger becomes. With a vision, a plan, and communication skills, I am very convinced, and with the help and the mentorship of the ERS team, that I will see you reaching heights where you never ever imagined you will be. I want to thank you for this time and have an amazing day. Thank you.